I never thought putting up a gate would drag me into the ugliest war of my life. But the day I locked that thing across the South Trail, the battle lines were drawn, and there was no turning back. What should have been a quiet life on my little stretch of forest turned into a courtroom circus, trespassers sneaking through the dark, and a neighborhood queen who thought HOA bylaws were stronger than the law of the state. She learned otherwise, and she learned it the hard way. My name's Carter Hayes. I'm 43, a former Marine, and for the last decade I've lived on 6 wooded acres just outside a small town in northern Montana. When I bought the land, it was raw, no house, no road, just trees and sky. I built my cabin myself, carved a trail down to the river, set posts, poured sweat into every inch. For years, it was peaceful. Then, the Maple Ridge Estates development sprouted up on my southern boundary, a pastel-colored HOA community that brought cul-de-sacs rules about mailbox paint and neighbors who thought my land was their playground. At first, it was harmless. Kids cut through the trail, bikers veered off the public path, a stroller or two rattled past my porch. I tried to be civil, put up signs, talked to people, asked them to stick to the designated route. They smiled, nodded, came back the next day. When I started finding SUV tire ruts across the slope I'd just reinforced, I knew this wasn't an accident. It was entitlement. That's when I installed my gate. Steel frame, keypad lock, concrete anchors, completely legal and backed by the county permits. I didn't get 2 days of peace before a white SUV pulled into my drive, and out stepped a woman in salmon pink jogging gear with a folder clutched like it held the 10 Commandments. Her name was Linda Rowe, president of the Maple Ridge HOA, though she didn't need to introduce herself. She had that aura you can smell from 50 paces, fake friendliness and control. "You must be Mr. Hayes," she said with a smile that could cut glass. "I am," I answered, setting down the cloth I was using to clean my rifle. "That gate you put up is blocking a historic right-of-way," she announced. "You'll need to remove it immediately, or we'll pursue legal action." I walked inside, came back with my survey map deed and the county overlay. "This trail is entirely on my parcel. I built it 10 years ago. Your development didn't even exist back then." She pulled out a laminated HOA map, tapped it with her manicured nail. "According to our records, it's community green space." I just looked at her and said, "Unless you've got a judge and a badge, that gate isn't moving an inch." She left without another word, but I knew it wasn't over. I bolted another padlock, posted bigger signs, and mounted a hidden trail cam in the pines. 46 hours later, I returned from a supply trip and found the gate gone, ripped clean out like it had been chewed by a bear. The concrete pillars were shattered, hinges twisted, keypad crushed. My stomach sank, then hardened. I pulled the trail cam card, and sure enough, there it was. A yellow backhoe tearing out the gate like it was a toothpick. I called the sheriff, then my lawyer. The rental company's records sealed it, machine rented under the HOA account, signed out by none other than Linda Rowe. When we hit court that week, her lawyer argued the gate blocked emergency access, and residents had used the trail for generations. The judge took one look at my evidence, watched the video of the backhoe yanking the gate out, and shut her down cold. He ruled the trail was private, the HOA guilty of trespass and destruction, and fined them $78 grand in damages. He also issued a no-contact order. I thought that would end it. I was wrong. First came the notes taped to my mailbox, slipped under my wiper. "The river belongs to everyone. You're not the only one who lives here." Then the HOA tried to sneak it through the county zoning board, claiming my trail was an unimproved public corridor. I showed up with satellite images dating back 20 years, assessor maps, and a sworn statement from the prior landowner. The board laughed them out of the room. But trespassers kept testing me. One SUV rolled onto the trail and caught a flat on the nail board I'd buried just off the side, clearly marked with a warning sign. The driver told the deputy that Linda said it was open again. He was cuffed and hauled off for violating the court order. Then one night, just past 3 in the morning, 3 hooded figures crept up to my new fence with a crowbar. My cameras caught them whispering. She said it would be easy. Floodlights tripped deputies arrived and 2 were arrested on the spot. One cracked on the ride to the station and named Linda as the mastermind she'd promised them $50 Home Depot cards to fix a mistake. The warrant for her arrest came fast. The sheriff's office picked her up at her porch while she waved the same fake documents she'd been carting around for months. She was charged with criminal solicitation conspiracy and violating a court order. That should have been humiliating enough, but the kicker was when a GoPro strapped to one of her little recruits hit the internet. The clip showed them sneaking through the woods, one muttering, "Linda said it's not really private, right?" before the floodlight blinded them, and they tripped over each other. The video went viral in town. She became a meme. Folks started calling her the Fence Avenger. While she was fighting for her reputation online, my lawyer dug deeper. Turns out, the HOA had used association funds to pay for their little missions, hiding them under budget lines like emergency access and community outreach. Their treasurer quit and handed over emails showing Linda had pushed it all through. It was enough for the county to open an audit. And when the judge saw the paper trail, he didn't just keep her locked up, he dissolved the entire Maple Ridge HOA. At sentencing, Linda looked like a deflated balloon. The woman who once strutted around with her folder and fake authority now stood in cuffs, blazer sleeves fraying, as the judge gave her 9 years, no parole for the first 4. 2 of her board members got suspended sentences and were banned from serving on any HOA in the state. And just like that, the Maple Ridge Estates HOA ceased to exist. I didn't smile. I didn't cheer. I just went home, installed a new gate, bigger, heavier, with a message welded right into the steel: "Trespassers will be prosecuted." The county reimbursed me for damages and even gave me a state-verified marker at the trailhead. These days, the path has gone wild again, grass growing tall, branches spreading across. I can sit on my porch with a cup of coffee, watch the river roll by, and not feel like I'm under siege. Funny thing is, if Linda had just come to me and talked like a normal human being, none of this would have happened. But then again, if she'd done that, she wouldn't have been Linda. So here I am, a man who only wanted quiet, ending up in the middle of a neighborhood scandal that burned hotter than dry pine in July. She wanted a war, and she got one. She lost her title, her freedom, and her entire HOA, all because she couldn't respect a gate. Now let me throw this to you: was I too harsh, standing my ground? Or was Linda simply getting the justice she earned? Have you ever had a neighbor or a community group push past your boundaries like they owned the place? Drop your thoughts down below. I want to hear your stories. And if you believe in standing up for your rights, no matter how loud the opposition gets, share this with someone who needs that reminder.